everyone. This time we are going to proceed in discussing the phase 5 of the implementation of the text-based approach, which is the linking to related text. And it will be discussed to you by Mary Classy Lumen and by yours truly, Marjana M. Matuan. Now, without further ado, let us now proceed to the discussion of these phase. So in this particular stage, the phase 5, linking to related text, students investigate how and what they have learned in this teaching or learning cycle can be related to other texts in the same or similar context, and another is relating it to future or past cycles of teaching and learning. So basically, in this phase, students should scrutinize what they have and how they have learned in the teaching and learning process by means of the principles of text-based instruction or approach. So they will make a distinction of the relationship of what those concepts that they have already learned to first other texts in the same or similar context. So here, the students need to explore how meaning is communicated through the relationships between language, text, purpose, context, and audience. This includes how language and text are shaped by their purpose, the audiences for whom they are intended, and the context in which they are created and received. They need to find other text types that meet the context of those learning or information they have acquired during the teaching-learning process. Through responding and creating text, students will now learn to consider how language, structure, and conventions operate in a variety of imaginative, interpretative, and persuasive texts. Another is the second one that they can relate it to is to the future or past cycles of teaching and learning process. Now, let us proceed to the activities which link the text type to related text. It includes the following. First is comparing the use of the text type across different fields. For instance, making a Venn diagram to distinguish the similarities and differences of a certain text type when used in different contexts or fields, like comparing a speech from a student and a speech from a politician. Differences of the thoughts here or the speech itself will be very evident. Another example is writing a persuasive essay. Yes, the teacher can distribute copies of a persuasive text to students in groups. This could be in the form of an advertisement or newspaper editorial, for example. The teachers will challenge the students in their groups to identify various persuasive strategies employed within the text, whether in terms of structure, presentation, visuals, or language use. Students here can compare and contrast their findings between the other groups. Also, business writings and technical writings. Second is researching other text types used in the same field. In much academic texts, you will need to use more than one type of text. Like for instance, using the persuasive text and information text type, you are informing while persuading a particular audience. And example activities are debate, extemporaneous speaking, oration, and many more.
Okay, and now let's proceed to the next activity, role-playing what happens if the same text type is used by people with different roles and relationships. So in this, linking ideas to the action provides in a progressive interaction metaphor for generating diverse ideas. So such interaction involves interchange of ideas between different participants. According to different design situations also, while participating in the idea, group process plays different roles to link his or her internal knowledge and experience, and as well as the external participants' idea. Next, we have comparing spoken and written modes of the same text type. So in this one, students can find examples of clausal and non-clausal units. So then they could turn the conversation into a written text and compare the language of the two text types. So by comparison, they can be aware that spoken and written grammar often make use of different grammatical resources. And the last one, researching how a key language feature used in this text type is used in other text types. So a text type is a simple framework that helps you to construct and create a piece of writing. So different text types demand particular use of a language. Teaching text types is different from assigning text types. So if a student um, use text types to write for different purposes and audience, they need to understand how each text type works. So the structures, features, and uses for each text type needs to be modeled via mentor texts and teacher talk alouds. So students will need to practice through guided writing tasks, collaborative tasks, and then independently with frequent feedback from peers and teachers. Okay, so to conclude all of our report, the fifth stages or the fifth stage, linking related text, is optional in the implementation of genre-based approach because it needs a bright student who is able to link related texts together. So a key purpose of the cycle is to ensure repeated opportunities for students to engage in activities which require them to reflect on and to critique their learning by developing understanding of text, acting on this through writing or speaking, reviewing their performance, and using feedback to improve their work.